Today is all about the good, Patty, the bad, and the ugly of gardening. Hello everyone, Randy here from the Jacobs Triangle Homestead. Welcome to the channel. I got tagged by Chafin at Hurricane Homestead in the good, the bad, and the ugly gardening collaboration. So I'm going to let you know the good, the bad, and the ugly that's been going on in my garden this year. There's been more bad and ugly than good, but we do have some good. So let's go ahead and just start right off with the good. This little plant here is what I've been, he needs weeded. But anyways, this little plant is what I have been calling Hobby, my habanero plant. I planted him as a seed with two others in, I think it was in February, indoors. And I have been nursing and babying him along, and this is as much growth as I've gotten out of him. His siblings, when I tried to take them outside to harden them off, they died. Hobby here made it though. He's my favorite, and I've been hoping that with all the work that I've been putting into him that I would get some pepper. This is why he's good, because I do have a pepper here, I have a pepper here, I see I got a little pepper flower. So Hobby's being good to me after all the work I put into him, even though he's not very tall. And he does need weeded, but he's good. Let's go on to my next good. Here is my next good. This is a zucchini I'm sorry. Xander, my youngest, calls zucchinis, and I just kind of stuck with all of us. So anyways, this is my zucchini plant, and I actually have, I think, 5 of them that I got planted. I didn't plant them long ago, I think maybe a little over a month ago. This is good because, as you may be able to see here, maybe not, I do have some zucchini on it. And this one also has some zucchini on it. So this is good because I am going to get something from the garden, you know, even if it's not a lot. It's late in the year, you know, it's already almost August 1st. But we are going to get a few zucchinis out of here. So I'm glad about that. Now part of the bad is that when I have zucchinis, see, little kids say things and it just sticks with you. My zucchinis have white flies. And what I do when I come out here and water is I kind of try to wash them off of the leaves. The white flies, I believe what they do is they suck the sap out of the plant and kind of stunt it a little bit. But, you know, like I say, I try to rinse them off when I water them, which they're due for watering later on when it cools off a little bit. Well, let's go on to some of the bad. Okay, now we are at some of my tomato plants. I think this particular one, I think, is a boxcar willy. I've heard about boxcar willies. I wanted to plant some to see how good they are, and this is what I've got. It's got flowers, but no fruit. These are ones that I also planted from seed when I planted Hobby back in February, and I've been nursing them along also, and they're not doing anything. Got more down here. I think those are also boxcar willies. I planted some brandywine, some beefsteaks. What else did I plant? I planted some Romas. I think that was it. And no fruit on any of them. I do have flowers. I'm hoping that some of the flowers are going to turn to fruit. Being in Northern California, our growing season is extended a little bit. But, you know, once the nights start getting cool, it's not going to do much. So I'm hoping that fruit's going to get set here very soon. Now, on to a little bit more bad. This little guy is an okra. I planted the okra the same time that I planted the zucchini, and so he's a month or so old. And you know, he's doing okay, but you know, he's not, you know, jumping up. I will say that I did go through last week and I gave everybody a shot of Epsom salt in their water. I need to come back through and give them another type of fertilizer. I think that will help them. I don't know if it's too late in the year to really do anything significant as far as production, but yeah, That's my okra, very small, definitely is not producing anything yet. We'll see later on. With it being, almost the beginning of August, I think I am expecting too much to expect anything. So let's go on to my last little bit of bad. Here's another little bit of bad. Maybe it's a lot of bit of bad. I am standing in my cornfield. Did you see my corn? I don't either. I bought a package of 150 seeds from Haas Seeds and planted every one of them out here, and then I ended up getting another seed packet and planting it out here along with it, so I ended up with somewhere between 170 180 corn seeds that I planted. 8 of them, 8 came up, and I decided they were kind of scattered throughout here. I decided they weren't close enough together to bother with, so I just stopped watering them, let them all die. So here is my awesome cornfield. Not impressive, is it? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Maybe this actually should go in, the ugly category. So let's go ahead and go on to the ugly category now. I am going to say that what I put up, my fencing that I put up to be trellising for the tomatoes, I'm going to say it's ugly. You probably will agree with me. And what this is, when I bought the property, this was some fencing that was on the property that had been, kind of smashed down and crunched up and whatever else by horses that was here before. And I just took the fence down, rolled it up, and discarded it for a while, and decided I'll roll it out and use it as trellising for my tomatoes. So it's kind of crunched and ugly and got broken wires here and there, but it gave me the opportunity to reuse and repurpose something that was here from before without having to spend any money on something that would be a lot more attractive, because it's ugly. And unfortunately, my tomatoes didn't take off enough to really take advantage of the quality in this ugliness. Let's go on to my next section of ugly. Another area of ugly in my garden is my garden hose. That's the end I use to put water on the plants. That's the end that I would connect to a faucet if I had one. Notice how I strategically position the camera so that my ugly water tank that I use to water the garden is in the background. I'm still using it. We are in the process of getting water to the property. It is at the property line. All I have to do is get my line in, and then the water district will come and put the meter in for me. That far away. We're that far away from getting it done. Hopefully that's going to get done in the next week. But that is the ugly part of this garden, is that I have to carry water. I've been putting that tank there on the forks on the tractor and putting 100 gallons in it and watering with that. Otherwise, I would put it in the back of my truck and fill it up. It's 330 gallons and use that to water the garden. That is definitely an ugly way to water your garden. So there you go. That's the good, the bad, and the ugly of my garden. Of course, there's more bad and ugly than there is good, but you got to stay positive and focus on the good. It's what keeps you going. I can say that, although I can blame all kinds of things for the failures in my garden, a lot of them are, it comes back to me. Having the time to come out here and tend to it properly, having the resources to do it, getting the resources available, and with everything that I have going on, I end up being, pulled about 17 different ways all at one time, which is exactly what we've been doing for the past month. You'll see videos for that coming up. In the end, I do think that, no matter what, it is a learning experience. Every time I do something, I learn something. This year I did something I haven't done in the years past. I bought a little soil test kit from Amazon. It's the one that tests the pH, the nitrogen, phosphorus, and I forget the other one, but it tests four elements in the soil, and one element that I was sorely lacking in is nitrogen. Everything else seemed like it was in pretty good shape, but nitrogen was nothing, nil, zero, zip. So that means that I need to amend my soil a lot more. I need to get some nitrogen in here so that things will grow. You know, one thing that I do notice when I'm working the dirt, I don't have any worms. Worms are an important thing to a garden. Everybody who gardens knows you need worms. I have no worms here. I'm amazed that, the weeds that you see, I don't know if you can see them in the background. Nope, they're in the side ground. Anyways, weeds that I have growing here are absolutely the weeds that I have growing here are absolutely drought tolerant because they grow in places that have not had a drop of water on them in months and months, and they are growing wonderfully. My plants, I have to try to water them every other day just to keep them alive. So yeah, definitely learning that I need to do better soil management. That's a given. I'm hoping that once things calm down a little bit, get the house built and things calm down some, I can focus on my gardening a little bit better and work on getting a compost pile started. In the meantime, I will probably order a truckload of compost to put on my garden to kind of get me a jump start, but that's going to be next spring. In the meantime, I'm just going to keep this, keep nursing this along until it gets late enough in the season that it's not worth nursing along anymore. So I want to thank Chafin for tagging me. I am supposed to also tag 3 homesteaders. I came up with 2 just because I wanted to get this out here, so short notice I tagged on 2 other homesteaders that I thought would be interested. The first one is Angel at K&as Homestead, and the other one is Jan at Simply Jan Homestead. I will put their links in the description down below, along with a link to Hurricane Homestead down below, and a link to the playlist that is going to contain all of the good, the bad, and the ugly garden videos down below. So until next time, thank you very much for joining me. I hope to see you again. Come on back. And until next time, see ya.